So this is Waiting on Wednesday for October 2nd. I can't believe it's October yet because I have a proposal due in less than a month and I'm kind of freaking out. So in order to get my mind off of that, I am going to tell you about a book that I am dying to read, which is kind of a terrible pun because the book is sort of about me. So many of you may know of the book The Archived. I will show you the pretty cover because it's a lot of cool cover art. Key in the face and get off of there. Off. 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 Alright, so pretty cover. Yay! This book was written by Victoria Schwab, who is a delightful human. You should check out her blog. And it's also a fantastic book. And I know I say the word fantastic a lot, but seriously, this book is amazing. If you read my thing on Sharon Cameron or watched the video, then you know that I really love good writing. That is something I will pick on in every book I've read. And it's not that I won't enjoy a book that isn't really well written, but there's just something about people who use language really well that gets to me. So I read this book over the summer. In it, a girl named Mackenzie and her family have just moved into a room in what used to be a hotel, but which is now an apartment complex. So old hotel, Shining fans, you already know that this has a lot of secrets, a lot of things going on. It's a pretty good setting for what turns out to be a pretty interesting kind of murder mystery in a way. Because Mackenzie is what's called a keeper. She works for the archive, which is a huge library. Only instead of having books on the shelves, it has dead people. Kind of. Not their bodies, but their spirits. Most of them are pretty quiet, they stay there, but some of them escape into the Narrows, which is the space between the archive and our world. Not so great, but even worse if they get out. So Mackenzie and the other keepers are responsible for going into the hidden doors that lead to the Narrows, finding the spirits that have gotten out, and bringing them back to the archive. Mackenzie's been doing this for a while. She knows her stuff. You get right into the book, and she's, fighting spirits and knifing people, and it's pretty awesome. But the problem is that lately, spirits have been coming out that are more violent than usual, more aggressive, and some of them even are starting to have weapons, which is pretty unusual. There's a lot of unrest in the library, and clearly something's going on, but no one knows exactly what. So Mackenzie and this boy Wes, who, fun fact, was named after Wesley from The Princess Bride, which clearly makes him an awesome character already, they decide that they're going to figure out what's going on. And it seems to have something to do with a terrible tragedy that happened in the hotel. So if supernatural-style ghost fighting and creepy old hotels and murder mysteries haven't got you hooked on this book yet, then I don't know what else to do. Except for read you this awesome scene that I love, because I think it is a great example of both Victoria's style of writing as well as Mackenzie's character. And she is she's awesome. She has kind of a dark past. Her brother died when she was little. She's still working on this whole keeper thing that she's been doing for a while, but not that long. And she's just a really fun character, kind of caught between, the normal world and the secret world that she can't tell anyone about. So here is a scene that I adore. And in it, Mackenzie is kind of thinking about what happened with her brother and just having an internal monologue. So she says, "Normal. A confession. Sometimes I dream of being normal. I dream about this girl who looks like me and talks like me. Nemo. But isn't me. I know she's not because she has this open smile and she laughs too easily, like Lynn's. She doesn't have to wear a silver ring or a rusted key. She doesn't read the past or hunt the restless dead. I dream of her doing mundane things. She sifts through a locker in a crowded school. She lounges poolside, surrounded by girls who swim and talk to her while she flips through silly magazines. She sits engulfed in pillows and watches a movie, a friend tossing up pieces of popcorn for her to catch in her mouth. She misses almost every time. She throws a party. She goes to a dance. She kisses a boy. And she's so happy. M, that's what I call her. This normal, non-existent lady. So, I mean, that is pretty early in the book, and I found that just extremely compelling, because you really get this sense of Mackenzie's internal struggle. But you also get to see a lot of her being really badass and cool and fighting these crazy spirits. So now that I've told you about the Archived, what I want to talk about is the Unbound. And this is the sequel that's coming out probably around January 14th. So still a bit of a wait. I'm like jumping at the bit a little, but it's going to be amazing. So in the Unbound, we return to Mackenzie and Wes. And this time, summer's over and she's starting school. You know, she's had this experience that happened in the first book that's still kind of haunting her. And then all of a sudden, people begin to vanish. Not so good. Especially not so good when they all seem to be connected to her, and she turns out to be the only suspect. So you get a bit of like a cop thriller in there, except instead of a cop, she's a teenager who hunts souls. And I'm really excited for it because, again, I love Victoria Schwab's writing. Mackenzie is a compelling character, and the Archived ends on this very uncertain note. You know, everything has just happened, but there's not a lot of closure. It's just, okay, this terrible thing has ended, and now, what's going to happen? Are we going to be okay? So I am pretty excited for this book. I am going to have such a hard time waiting for January. And I wish I had time to reread the first one, but I would show you my TBR shelf, except that you would probably scream. So anyway, check out Victoria Schwab. She also has a book coming out called Vicious, which is kind of along a different vein, more about these people with supernatural powers, which I also plan on checking out. And if you haven't read The Archived, look for it. I'm not sure if it's in paperback now, but it's definitely on Kindle. And I know it looks a little long for those of you looking for like a light read, but it really reads really fast. The plot is absolutely breathtaking. And like, I honestly had a really hard time putting down. I actually declined social situations, like invitations to hang out with people, human contact, to read this book. That's how good it is. So if that doesn't convince you, then I don't know what else will. So that's it for Waiting on Wednesday. Go check out all of the other links on the other blogs, because there are a lot of awesome things people have out there. And look out for a review of probably Some Quiet Place coming soon, as soon as I finish my homework. Ciao.